Well, I do have an announcement to make on behalf of Dean Ann and her group. But this Saturday night at 7 p.m. at the Student Center, there will be an ethnic food and game night. All right? So please join us or them for food, fun, and fellowship. So 7 p.m. this Saturday night. The schedule for this evening for intramurals has changed. So please contact your captains so that you know what time your games are for this evening. So, and then we are going to move our other. We had 4 games for this evening, but we're only going to do 2, and we're going to move those 2 to next week, and so that we can be present for our co-ed worship this evening that is going to be brought to us by someone special. So make sure that you join us for co-ed worship at 9:30 p.m. tonight at Diltz Chapel after intramurals. All right, last set of announcements. You is not here, and is Raul here? What's that? Okay. All righty. All right, seniors, do you have an announcement? Does the senior class have an announcement? Oh, there's an announcement coming up? You have an announcement? Well, come on, sir.
So, is Caleb here? There was a slide that we were supposed to put up. It has like a picture of coffee. Awesome. If you guys can take a couple seconds to do a survey. We're trying to get a coffee house here on campus, but we need your kind of opinion. And so, yeah, thank you.
We're trying to get what?
A coffee house.
A coffee house. All right. You gotta sound like a little bit more excited about that, son. Or get some coffee before you make that announcement next time. Yeah, we're trying to get a coffee house here on campus. Come on, son. All right, that's exciting. So what do we do? So, hey, sir, son. So we just, is it coming out? How do we do this? Get our phone out? Okay. Thank you very much. All right. No, if there are no more announcements, we're going to have prayer, and then we'll get started. Let's bow our heads. I know some of you guys in the nursing program, I know that you guys know, and just let also, one of our nursing instructors, her husband just passed away. So we want to keep Dr. Rima in our prayers, and I'm sure some of you have also experienced some loss as well too. But so we want to remember those of us that are grieving. So let's bow our heads. Father, it's a privilege again to gather for assembly. Father, thank you for giving us this time as we continue to celebrate Black History Month, and Lord, as we take a time out away from our studies. Be with us now, Lord, as we are here to receive the message from our special guest. And also, Lord, we ask that you be with our friends and families and with our university family as well, for those of us that are suffering loss right now. Just guide us, direct us, just comfort us, just wrap your loving arms around us as we face this day and as we face the weeks to come. Continue to be with us with our studies and all our other plans as we get closer and closer to spring break. Is our prayer in Jesus' name, amen. Okay, I'm going to invite Miss Rufaro to come up and get assembly started for us. Let's give her a hand.
Hi, guys. Good afternoon. So our speaker, Miss Elizabeth June, is a company member of the Robbie Theater Company, founded by Ben Gilroy and Danny Glover. TV credits include Criminal Minds, Fresh Off the Boat, As the World Turns, and ABC's Blackish, where she got to play her hero, Harriet Tubman. Theater credits include Balm and Gilead, The Colored Museum, Jesus Christ Superstar, and August Wilson's 7 Guitars, just to name a few. June is also a voiceover cast member of the audio drama Bronzeville, produced by Lawrence Fishburne and Lawrence Tate. Miss June has toured with gospel ensembles in Europe, Israel, and the Caribbean. She earned her MFA from the Actors Studio Drama School and also holds an MFA in creative writing from Full Sail University. Her bachelor's degree in psychology was earned at our very own Southwestern Adventist University. Elizabeth June hails from the Bronx and is a co-founder of the Silver Locks Films along with her husband, Jason S. Williams. Their short films, Jitters and Vicious Ann, have been featured in film festivals across the country, including the Screen Actors Guild and Short Film Showcase. Please put your hands together for our speaker today, Miss Elizabeth June.
So this is our latest desktop computer with DSL connection. It has a Pentium processor and... Ma'am, this isn't the public library. If you're not serious about buying a computer...
This is my son.
Oh my gosh, is he missing?
Yes. A Tickle Me Elmo. It is his Christmas wish, and I'm not going to disappoint him. Oh, yes! There's someone selling one in Orlando.
Oh, how cute. It's like the Elmos are tickling her.
It is time to start our special show.
Good afternoon, children. My name is Harriet Tubman. I was born in 1820 in a
Look at
one-room
that.
cabin where
Glenn sitting over there like he's a prince. Popcorn on the Underground Railroad? Please, Harriet was a smart woman. She wouldn't blow the whole deal with some loud-ass snacks.
Okay, Mr. Johnson.
What?
You need to be quiet. You're ruining the Harriet Tubman experience.
Oh, I'm ruining it?
Yeah.
Heck, I'm here to save it. You're the one that's ruining it by allowing off-topic snacks and spreading misinformation. Harriet Tubman was not a spy.
Yes, she was.
No, she wasn't.
Excuse me. Who's talking?
I am. Harriet, could you help a brother out over here and solve something for us? You were never a spy, right?
Why, yes, I was.
What does she know? She ain't even the real Harriet Tubman.
Oh, the accusation. All
What?
this rigmarole is aggravating
What the
the headaches
hell
and
is
dizzy
rigmarole?
spells I've had ever since a slave owner hit me in the head with an iron weight in 1835. Oh.
You're hurting Harriet Tubman.
Boy, that is not the real Harriet Tubman. She said she was born in 1820. What's today's date? Do the math.
It's rare that an undergraduate criminology class gets guest speakers of this caliber. But today, we're especially fortunate. I'd like to welcome an old friend, esteemed author and FBI agent David Rossi, and his team, the Behavioral Analysis Unit. Now, they've agreed to spend an hour of their valuable time talking about what they do and how they do it. So let's make them feel welcome.
You one of them sisters want a fairy tale. You want the Cosby Show. Michelle Obama got herself a brother.
Who came from the womb of a white woman, just like the man waiting for me down that aisle.
And you think that makes him better?
Had you stayed with any of your wives long enough to see your children grow,
That's between me and your mother. That had nothing to do with
it
you.
had everything to do with me. When you broke up with my mother, you broke up with me.
We're a child. Hell, I was a child. I wasn't old enough to order a drink. I didn't plan on you growing up without a father. Your mother moved you away from us. Moved you away from people who look and sound like us.
Sound like us? I am so tired of being ridiculed for having a strong command of the English language. I don't think I'm better than anyone, but I'm not gonna pretend I'm worse.
Look, slow down. I'm just saying that if she had kept you in the city, you might be more comfortable around.
If you knew me, you know that I've dated mostly black men. And each and every one of them has ended up marrying some Stepford wife. I am not the cooking, cleaning, caretaking type, and I make no apologies for that. I love my career, and I pay my housekeeper well. Freedom, 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 finally freedom. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave,
white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
We developed the first math system, language, writing. We created the pyramids, the Sphinx. We are Egyptians, Nubians, Africans. Why wasn't I told? We developed the blood plasma method, and then we died because they wouldn't let us in the nearest hospital to use the method to save us. We invented the traffic light. We compose classical music and sing opera. We dance African and European ballet. We are lawyers, CEOs, world-renowned surgeons, astronauts, fashion designers, educators. Why wasn't I told? You see, had I been told, I might not have spent all my money making Calvin, Louis Vuitton, and Gucci richer and me poorer. I might not have cringed in history class when they, for only one day, talked about slavery. I might not have bought a quarter-pound of European wavy every 3 months so people could ask, is you mixed with something? I might not have questioned as to why you're wearing those African clothes. You ain't African. You from the Bronx. Yet, I said you looked fly when you wore that Italian suit and that Swiss watch and those imported shoes from Spain, and I knew you weren't from any of those places. I might not have laughed at the foreign accents of the exchange students from Kenya, thinking Africa was a country. It is a continent. I meant to say continent. Why wasn't I told that the only reason we don't still have our true names and our native tongues is because they cut out our tongues unless we spoke American? They got scared if we told each other the real deal. They still do. Hey, everybody, I'm June. Hi. I am a graduate of Southwestern Adventist, at the time, college. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology from this school. I've sat in the very seats where you all are sitting. I'm honored to be here presenting the end of the Black History Month program, because when I was a student here, I was the one who was usually in charge of the Black History programs, along with Pastor Keith Gray, whom you will see tomorrow evening. That poem that I wrote, Why Wasn't I Told? I wrote it a year after I graduated from here. And it was published in a magazine, Class Magazine, CLAASS, Caribbean, Latin, African American Sights and Sounds. So it was very exciting for me to see a magazine that had my poem in it on the newsstands in New York when I moved back there. I'm originally from the Boogie Down, the Bronx. Anybody from New York here? Any New Yorkers? Hey, what's up? Boop, boop. Oh, grrr. Okay, good. Got my New Yorkers here in the house. So one of the reasons I wrote the poem is because growing up in the Seventh-day Adventist church, I went to Seventh-day Adventist schools all my life, from first grade all the way to here, to Southwestern. And I was never taught a lot of the things that I talk about in the poem. This is a little test to see who was listening. So I make a comment in the poem about we invented the traffic light. Anybody know the name of the person who invented the traffic light? Garrett Morgan. Yes, good for you. Ding, 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 ding. I have like a little Altoid or something I can give you later. A little, I don't know. I don't have any gifts. But fantastic, Garrett Morgan. Garrett Morgan was a black man who invented the traffic light. He also invented the gas mask. Did everybody in here know that? No, because it's not taught. When I said the comment about astronauts, can anyone name a black astronaut? Who? Mae Jemison, Dr. Mae Jemison. Yes, good. First female black astronaut in space. Good, good. Anyone know of a male one? Ron McNair, remember that name? Let's see. Can anyone name the person I was talking about when I said the doctor who created the blood plasma method, and yet he died because they didn't let him in the nearest hospital? I thought I heard it. Dr. Charles Drew. Dr. Charles Drew came up with the way of separating the plasma from the blood, and he helped with refrigeration of the blood. So to this day, blood banks have Dr. Drew to thank for that. Yet he was in a car accident, and his three other white doctors were in the car with him. They were taken to the nearest hospital. They lived. He wasn't allowed to be in the hospital, so he bled to death by the time they got him to the black hospital. Anybody know that? No, because it's not taught. I had to find out these things on my own. I had to do a lot of research on my own. Why is it important to have Black History Month? I remember when we were having Black History Month, and people used to say, and some snarky guys would say, well, we need to have White History Month. You have White History Month every month. What are we talking about here? What is the importance of having Black History Month? When I made the comment about we sing opera, can you name any black opera singers? Leontine Price, yes, one of my favorites. Exactly right. Jesse Norman, who just passed away recently. Kathleen Battle. Can anyone name the person I was talking about when I said we compose classical music? I thought I heard it. Say it loud. Beethoven. Yeah. Beethoven was German, his father was German, but his mother was a Moor, M-O-O-R. Did you know that? It's not taught. If you look, and I'm telling you, you can take out your phone right now and look at a young picture of Beethoven, not the pictures that have been lightened and brightened. I'm talking about a young picture. Look up right now, young Beethoven. Beethoven was black. You Google that, you're going to see a little picture of a Beethoven who looks like Johnny Mathis. I'm serious. But we would not know unless we do the research. Do the research. And why is it important to have Black History Month? Because guess what? People who have a higher self-esteem are less likely to rob you. You understand? If I know I come from people who are lawyers and doctors and CEOs, world-renowned surgeons, all this kind of stuff, I'm not going to be thinking about robbing you. I got my own plans for what I want to do with my future. But when all you've been taught is that you were slaves, and then you were in the civil rights movement, and they were sicking dogs on you, and they were putting holes on you, and that's all you know about your history, what kind of self-esteem are you going to have? You gotta know where you come from. And I say that for all cultures. I wish there was, and maybe there is, I'm not aware of it, but I wish there was an Asian History Month. Now, I know for me, I personally, on my Facebook page, every day in the month of February, I put a new fact that I have found, because I'm still learning, I'm still researching. And a lot of my friends are like, oh my goodness, I never heard of this person. Oh, wow, this is, we have to share the information. Same thing, John Leguizamo. Who knows John Leguizamo? On Netflix, he has a wonderful stand-up, not even a stand-up, it's like a show, a one-man show called Latin History for Morons. You gotta see it, because he breaks down the history of Latin Americans. We need to know each other's culture, because if we know that we have a rich heritage that is more than just somebody on a slave ship and being in chains and so forth. And again, there's nothing wrong with knowing about that because we know how strong we are. There's also something that you have to keep in mind. Every black person you see is not an African American. That's why I say black instead of African American. Because there are many people of African descent whose parents came here after 1968. Does anyone know what crucial thing happened in 1968? Other than the fact that that's when I was born. I was born in 1968. But what else happened in that year? Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated. Dr. King was assassinated in April of 1968. My mother was carrying me. I was born in June. Do you know what that did to her mind and to the mind of black people to find out that Dr. King was assassinated? The most peaceful black man in America was assassinated. If they're going to kill him, what are they going to do to us? You understand what I'm saying? It does something to your psyche. So anyone who came and moved into this country, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, whatever your nationality, you didn't go through the same thing that my mother and my grandmother went through. Because it does something to your psyche to see white and colored on the bathrooms, on the water fountains. No blacks allowed, no coloreds allowed, no N-words allowed. It does something to your psyche. So if you did not come from a parent or grandparent that had to see that, your experience is different. There's a big difference when you come to America for a better life, as opposed to those who were dragged here. There's a difference between coming to America by choice or by chains. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Negro spirituals and the importance of music in the black experience. Somebody name a Negro spiritual for me. Let my people go. Very good. Okay, so that was one of Harriet Tubman's favorite songs. That's why they used to call her Moses. Everybody knows the story of Harriet Tubman. I know I had like a comedic version of her there, but I have played Harriet Tubman 4 times, not just on Blackish, but I've played her in, serious dramatic plays as well. So she's definitely one of my heroes. And Let My People Go, of course, is one of the most important songs for her because it was the same kind of thing. Pharaoh, the thing with the slaves on the plantation, there was, a commonality there. So, let's hear it. Let my people go. You guys know it. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh to let my people go. Now, the beautiful thing about Negro, thank you, y'all sound great, by the way. The beautiful thing about Negro spirituals is that many of them were songs that were coded messages that were used to teach one group of slaves how to escape. And they had to be they couldn't communicate because anytime 2 or 3 slaves were talking together, they would get whipped. The overseer will come and say, hey, get back to work. What are you talking about? Again, going back to the thing about the tongues being cut out. This is why they did not want us to have our native tongue. So really, my name, my legal name, my stage name is Elizabeth June. That's my name for credits. Because when I was a student here, my name was June Elizabeth Sewer, S-E-W-E-R, as in the waste conduit. Hence the name Elizabeth June. We had to switch that up a little bit for Hollywood, okay? But coming back to names, my last name is my husband's name. My name is June Williams now. You wouldn't know what culture or what group of people I come from by the name Williams. Because that's not our true name. That is a slave master's name. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a difference when I see names like Idris Elba and Lupita Nyong'o. Those are great names because they got to keep their names because they weren't brought here. You understand? Everybody follow what I'm saying? There's a difference there. And there's a pride that comes from your name. I have so many friends. I grew up in the Bronx. So I went to Bronx, Manhattan Seventh-day Adventist School, which is predominantly Hispanic school. And so all of my friends and my teachers, Mr. Medina, Mr. Suriveras, Ms. Osorio, you know what I mean? Great names. But when you hear those names, Jimenez, Rodriguez, De Jesus, when you hear those names, you know you're dealing with a person of Latin descent, right? You don't know anything about Williams. You see what I'm talking about? There's something there when our names were taken from us, when our language was taken from us. That's why when it comes to Kwanzaa time, I'm always the first one talking about my little Swahili. Habari gani, kujichagulia, umoja, ujima, because that's the only thing I know. It's important having your language, having your true name, knowing about your heritage, and knowing about the accomplishments of people who look like you. All those things are important. These are the reasons why we have Black History Month. So exciting. Okay, so another song that was a coded message song was called Follow the Drinking Gourd.
Follow the drinking gourd. Oh, you know it. Follow the drinking gourd, for the old man is waiting for to carry you to freedom if you follow the drinking gourd. Yes, and the drinking gourd was, of course, the Big Dipper. So that was a way that we taught each other how to follow the North Star, to go across, to escape. You see, we couldn't have regular conversations in front of the overseer. You would get whipped. So they didn't know what we were singing about. They were like, oh, those darkies are just over there singing again. They had no idea that we were helping each other to escape. It was life or death. So when I hear people, sometimes young people, oh, I don't like those old Negro spirituals. What? That saved your life. That saved your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents' life. These were life songs. Yeah? All right. So I need my, let me see. I need some people with deeper voices. I'm not going to say the men and the women because I know some sisters who can sing tenor and bass sometimes. So I'll say my low voices. I need my low voices. Everybody saying, all right, all right. So I need my low voice people and then the higher people. It's not going to be very high, but we're going to do Wade in the Water, but I want to do a special version of it, right? Okay, so the deeper voice people, wade in the water, 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 wade in. Keep going. Everybody else, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Keep going. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble. Keep saying, just hum. Now, if religion was a thing that money could buy, God's gonna trouble the water. You know the rich would live and the poor would die. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Softer. God's gonna trouble the water. Soft. God's gonna trouble the water. Watch me. God's gonna trouble the water. Woo, I like that. Yeah. Yes. All right. So, I have another mic here. I'm going to open up the last 15 minutes here for questions, and I'll answer any questions you have about what was life like when I was a student here. First of all, it was called SAC, Southwestern Adventist College. Before my time, it was called SUC, suck. So they had to change that name real quick. Before that, it was called Keene Industrial Academy. Thank you, sir. How are you today? Keene Industrial Academy. That's what it was called before SUC. And then before that, I think it was Little House on the Prairie with Laura Ingalls and Pa. Okay, anybody have a question for me back there? We have a mic going around. No questions? They showed it already. You missed it, yeah. Yeah. But if you missed it, if you came in late and you didn't see my reel, just go to elizabethjune.com. You can see the reel there. No questions? I thought there were going to be questions. All right, I'll just keep on talking. Yes, I see a hand. No? No, she's just scratching herself, scratching her head in the back. Yeah, sure. Nope, that's all right. He's right there. I got it. Well, the question was, go ahead, ask it again.
All right. So what was life like as an African American here on this campus when you were at school here? What years were you here, first of all?
Thank you. Great question. I was here from 1986 to 1990. And it was a big change for me just coming to Keene, I'm gonna go back a little further because I also went to CTA. I went to Chisholm Trail Academy as well. So I'm from New York, but my mother brought me down here because she didn't want me to grow up my teenage years in New York. And my mother's originally from Texas. And so she was like, oh, it's a Seventh-day Adventist town in Texas? Oh, that's great. We're gonna go to the Holy City. Okay. So I was, maybe when I was at CTA, there was maybe 5 or 6 of us in my graduating class, 5 black people. When I came to SAC, it was maybe 50 of us. I don't know, Chris, you around still? Did Chris leave? How many, was it like 50 of us maybe? About 50 of us on campus. So Chris Wiggins, one of my dearest friends in the world, he also went to school here. And anybody else? And I know I just saw Tina, who works in the office. There she is. Hey, Tina. So she went to school here when I was here. So it was like maybe 50 of us on the whole campus. And out of that 50, maybe like 20 or 30 of us were in the choir Heaven's Inspirational Singers. And that was founded by Chris Wiggins and by Keith Gray and by Molly and by another good friend of mine, Monique Hawkins. They put together a choir called Heaven's Inspirational Singers, because we are His. Get it? That's cute, right? I didn't come up with the name. Chris, who came up with the name? Did you? It was you and Keith, yes. So Chris and Keith came up with the name His, and it was awesome. And the only reason I ended up being the director of the group is because we were at our first rehearsal, and we were trying to remember how to do cutoffs and, entrances and so forth. And I'm like, that's sloppy. We got to make sure we come in crisp. We got to be like this. And they're like, all right, June, well, you direct it. I was like, okay. Next thing you know, 4 years later, I'm still directing it. And I was so short, I used to have to stand on a chair sometimes for everybody to be able to see me when I was directing. But to answer your question about being an African American, like I said, I go by black. Be lack. Because we be lacking the tools we need to survive in this society. No, just kidding. But I go by black. Again, because there's so many different black people. There are black Hispanics. There are black Caribbeans. There are black Haitians who don't speak any English at all. Remember, Chris, we had that girl from Haiti? I can't remember her name, but she's like spoke French. You know what I mean? So when you see a black person, it's not like just, face value to think we're all the same. Many of us are not. I would say that I had a good experience here. I was never treated cruelly by anyone, not to my face. I will say that when we sang with the choir, at the time, President Marvin Anderson was the president here, and he was so supportive of us. As a matter of fact, his wife, Dr. Dee Anderson, was our club advisor, along with Dr. Barbara Jones. So they gave us a lot of support. So they made sure that we were taken care of. I will say this, I'm gonna tell this story. I'm not gonna say his name, but there was an incident where I wanted to audition for a play on campus, and I would have killed it. It was something about You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and I wanted to be Lucy, and they wanted somebody else to be Lucy, and I was like, so they told me they wanted me to be Snoopy. I'm like, I'm not gonna be Snoopy. I want to be Lucy. So that was my only little moment there. That was a little tricky. You know what I mean? Because they had a certain idea of what they thought Lucy how she should look. You know what I mean? And that's just real. That's real. So I'm still a little bitter. I'm over it now. It's been 30 years. I'm okay because I'm on TV. And that girl that played Lucy, she wasn't on TV, so we good. No, but she was beautiful. She was a beautiful person, beautiful singer, beautiful shebang. But that kind of taught me that to be the kind of actor that I wanted to be, I was going to have to go. I was going to have to leave. I couldn't stay here to do that. To be, I have to go to Hollywood if I want to do the kind of stuff that I've done. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah. But that was the only time where it was a little tricky for me, looking the way I do and wanting to be Lucy. Any other questions? Any other questions? About acting, yes. Oh, hold on, there's a mic. He's coming. Because not just for me, because I can hear you, but everyone else won't be able to without the mic. Hold on.
You said every month is White History Month. Does that include this month?
No. I said earlier that a snarky person said to me, why don't we have you're saying is every month White History? Yes, because guess what? This month is White History Month, because every month is White History Month, yes. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, it is. It actually is, because everything in the history books is going to favor white people. And I'll be honest with you, I'll take it even further. White men specifically, because there are a lot of accomplishments. We have Women's History Month coming up next month, and there's a lot of accomplishments of women, white women, black women, all kinds of women, that are not in the history books either. So that's the reason why we have Women's History Month next month. And trust me, I'm there for that as well. Yes.
Was the music that you guys did in your choir, was it all gospel style? And also, did you write it yourself, or did you get it from thing? And also, was it all a cappella, or did you have instruments involved? Tell us a little bit more about that.
He got like 5 questions in one. Okay, I'm gonna tackle them. I'm gonna tackle what I heard. So yes, it was predominantly contemporary gospel. Yes. Yes, we did write some of our own songs. As a matter of fact, Chris Wiggins wrote a lot of our songs. He's a fantastic songwriter and composer. So he wrote a lot of our songs too. And we had another brother by the name of Fear Swan who wrote a lot of our songs too. So we had a nice group. We had a nice mixture of singing extant material and also writing our own songs and doing our own arrangement. And Keith Gray was amazing at arranging songs too, because he's a fantastic singer, but he's also a great arranger as well. I think the last thing you said, what was the last part of the question? Oh, Lord. Instruments, yeah. So tomorrow night, you'll see some of our musicians on stage, because I'm bringing some of our people with us. Unfortunately, because so many of our choir members live all over the country, they couldn't make it. But some of our musicians, including Chris, Oliver, we're going to have somebody on the drums. We're going to have, Madaku Chinwa, our bass guitarist. So let me just tell you a little bit about Madaku real quick, because I know we got to wrap up and let you guys go to class. Madaku Chinwa, has anyone ever heard of him? Yes. Oh, of course, his niece, his cousin over there. Yes, hi, sweetheart, good to see you. Okay, so, yes, I went to school with her dad, Terrence Jemerson. I went to school with her dad. Hi. Okay, so Madaku Chinwa is a Grammy Award-winning musician, producer. I can tell this story tonight because I'm not going to have time to tell it tomorrow. So, Madaku Chinwa and I are very, very good friends, and we were both in Keith and Molly's wedding, Pastor Keith Gray and Molly's wedding. We were in their wedding, right? So, first of all, it was like 10 million of us in the wedding because they had a big wedding party. So Madaku brought this girl to the wedding, and her name was Apples. So we were like, Apples, okay, cool. I'm grapes, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, so a couple of years later, I see this girl, Apples, on TV. Her name is Erykah Badu. Yes. So Madaku has a Grammy Award for doing a song with her that was on the Brown Sugar soundtrack. They got a Grammy Award for that. He also did 2 songs on her first album, Certainly and Rimshot. So Madaku was a student here, just like me, just like all of us, and he's a Grammy Award winner. And God willing, he will be here tomorrow night for Vespers. So yes, we had a full band. And let me give you another little tidbit about our band. Madaku and this other brother by the name of Speedy, we called him Speedy, he was the drummer. He was bad. Oh my goodness. He lives in New York right now, or else he would have been here tomorrow night too. But they both played for Kirk Franklin. So Kirk Franklin used to come to our rehearsals here on campus. I promise you, Kirk Franklin used to come to our rehearsals, but we used to have rehearsals in Evans Hall. Y'all got rid of Evans Hall. I don't know what y'all did with that, but we used to have rehearsals in Evans Hall, and Kirk Franklin used to come to our rehearsals because he was friends with Madaku and Speedy. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a rich history that we have here, with our music, with our spirit, with our enthusiasm. And I want to say that I love all of you students who have come up to me and invite, and said, "Oh, wow, welcome to our campus. So glad to have you here." I want to thank you, Jennifer Lopez. I see you over there. Celestina Harrison. Those of you who have just been so kind to me. Musa, where's Musa? Musa's not here. Is he? Oh, there he is. Musa picked me up from the airport, so we good friends now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be where you are. I used to sit where you guys are sitting, and I love you guys. I am so happy for you guys. I know you guys are in midterms, so I'm praying for you with your midterms. You're going to be fine. God is good. Put God first, and you'll never be last. What else can I say? You guys are just amazing. You have another question? Where we go? Yes.
what are some challenges being an Adventist and also an actress?
Good question. That's an excellent, excellent question. So when I was living in my mama's house, very strict Seventh-day Adventist woman, I was not allowed to perform on the Sabbath. She and I went through a whole circle with that. And I'll be real with you, when I went to get my MFA at the Actors Studio Drama School, which is the same school where Bradley Cooper went. If you go to my, if you go to my Instagram, Elizabeth June NY, you'll see a picture of me and Bradley Cooper. I don't know him, so if you meet him, don't say, hey, do you know June? Nope, he don't know me. But he graduated from my school and he came back to speak to us, and so it's a picture with me and Bradley Cooper. Anyway, that's an excellent question. And my thing is, you all are grown-ups here. I am a woman of God. I'm a woman of faith. I am not a Seventh-day Adventist, okay? I'm not. But I love the Lord. He heard my cry and pitied every groan, yeah? Because for me, it's more about a relationship than it is about religion. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. Excellent question. Thank you. You guys, that's my time. You guys got to go to your classes and do your midterms. I love you guys. If you want to talk to me, thank you so much. Come to the dorm worship tonight, the co-ed worship. I'm going to be doing the dorm worship tonight too. So if you have any questions that you think of during the day you want to ask me tonight, that's fine. I will be at the co-ed worship. Thank you all so much. God bless.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for coming.